Wealth is the desire that most people want in life. Early retirement is the aspirations for many of the working adults. Financial freedom is the achievement that every individual wishes for. Yet 99% of the people will never be able to realize these into their own realities. Because for them, these are just mere wishes and dreams and hopes that are unrealistic and unachievable for the average person. To them, being rich and affluent, like the 1%, can only be accomplished by those who are evils at the heart of society. The giant corporations, the multi-millions businesses, the filthy rich, all raised to the top of society with the fraudulent and corrupt behaviors of nature. They strongly believe that is the case, as if that is the reason why they are financially oppressed, why they are broke, why they are heavily in debt, why they have no savings, and why they are forever remain poor. And perhaps they do have a point, that somehow or somewhere out there exists a malicious force that put them where they are and prevent them from where they want to be. However, having such a negative mindset, or putting the blames entirely on the external factors, on the society, on other people, might very well be the inhibitions for most in obtaining their own financial success. Choosing to blame everything and anything else but themselves. They disregard their own weaknesses and deny their own flaws. That they suck with money. That they spend more wealth than they preserve. That they are irresponsible with their own financial fortune and their own future. The matter of fact is, most of the poor and the average are terrible with money. They don't know where their money goes or how they spend it. They don't read their income statement, nor track their monthly expense. And most don't even have a simple budget. All they know is to spend and spend and spend a little more until they receive the next paycheck, repeating the eternal cycle of working and spending. This is one of the reasons why the vast majorities of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, why more than half of the populations have less than $500 in saving. Too many people today have the urge for material possessions, for consuming the latest new product, for jumping on the hottest, coolest trend, and acquiring the endless of stuff that they don't need. Things that are non-essential. Things that are liabilities to them. Things that add no value whatsoever to their own life. Unfortunately, in this day and age, comfort is not enough. People want luxury. People are willing to spend time and money to chase after ludicrous desire, and so for the pursuit of social status and self-worth. No matter how low is their income, and no matter how poor is their financial circumstances. There exists a mass competitive consumption among individuals in our society today. Many seek to be better than the other persons, not in terms of how much wealth they have, or how thick is their bank account, but how much stuff they own, and how much material they possess. The result of such an ideology of living is an increasingly larger aspirational gap And more than ever, people are wanting and buying things that they are far from being able to afford. We see this with individuals who have high credit card debts. We see this with households who take out excessive bank loans and mortgages. We see this with people who work a minimum wage job, yet own branded clothing and newest version of iPhone every single year. There's a financial crisis among the 99%, for they are constantly chasing and satisfying their needs for consumptions, of living in a bigger house, of driving a fancier car, and going on even more exotic vacations. There also exists an obsession with emulating the living standards of others. People are following blindly the lifestyle of their neighbors, of their friends, and worse, of the affluents, the celebrities, and the Instagram models who might have no end to the accessibilities of luxury and indulgences. Such aspirations to the way of living, which are too far-reach for the majority of the populations, has destroyed the financial stability and the economic dreams of countless individuals and families. Too many people are oblivious to the downfall of consumerism, and it has caused people to doubt themselves on the outlook of their own financial future, for they really believe that it is their fate to be poor and always remain poor in a world full of evils and oppression. However, what they don't realize is that the reality is different. There are things that can be done and needs to be done both on a societal and on a personal level. But it has to begin with your own responsibilities and awareness of your consumption lifestyle and your spending behavior. For it requires a much stronger force to shake out the negative attitudes that have been planted in the mind of each and every individual in the current society today. Understand that the number one reason why you are poor is because you are living wealth above your means. There's a saying that is more true today than ever, and it is that the poor stay poor by acting like the rich, while the rich stay rich by acting like the poor. Poor people do not understand that wealth and financial independency does not define by how much liabilities you have around you, but how much asset you have and own. Poor people stay poor because they can't comprehend the values of their money, only to see it as a transaction medium and an opportunity to fulfill their impulsive desires. Poor people are poor, mainly because they spend their wealth instead of growing and accumulating it. Know that it is much easier to spend than to save, but it is infinitely more rewarding to save than to spend, because your future and your long-term needs are far more precious than the desire of living in the moment. Being affluent and wealthy can only come to those who have the disciplines of being goal-oriented with their personal finance. And it begins with saving, the first and foremost step in building your wealth. That means living below your mean. That means preserving a part of your incomes for the emergency fund or for the investment of your future. That means consistently tracking and budgeting and managing your expense every single month. And finally, that means being able to control your consumerism desire, your greed, your devil, your worst financial enemy. These are all simple things that can drastically change one's life, yet so many forget or neglect. Freedom and independency can only be rewarded to those who are willing to commit and make the appropriate decisions within their own financial journey. Even then, at the end of the day, saving is not enough to reach to the top 1%. It is also about what you do with your money, instead of letting it sit in the bank account, only for inflations to eat away its value, especially in periods of excessive printing of money. You will need to discover ways to store and increase your wealth, your hard-earned income, your money, which are essentially your power, to which degree you have control and influence in your own life, in a place where your time and your worth are not damaged by the reckless actions of the governments and the central banks and the people who are in the positions of authorities. This is where investing comes into play, and it is the more advanced step to reaching wealth, because there are many paths that you can take, whether simple or complicated. But remember, you can never invest if you have nothing saved up. So forget about getting rich quick or making passive income, and focus on the things that are most important, that is becoming better at managing your money and cutting down on stupid shit that you know you do not need. Only then you can begin your true path of building wealth. And it certainly won't be a quick or simple one, but it will be a gratifying journey that in the end favors those that are consistent and those who want it the most. Alright, that's the message for today. Like, comment, subscribe if you agree or disagree with my message, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.